welcome everyone to tonight's class, class number 4 with the Freedom Project. Tonight we're going to be going over the different techniques that I created as part of my VisualFestation system. And I don't know, I'm not sure if Sherry and I are going to be able to get through all the techniques in the half hour, but whatever we don't get through, we'll get to next week. So I hope you guys all have been working on your goals. Essentially, now that you know what you want, and you know why you want it, and how it's going to feel when it shows up, well, the next thing is to do is start talking about what I call my ideal scene. And that is, just imagine what your life would look like in 5 years if everything you wanted, desired, or set for a goal came true. And what would that look like in your life? And once you can see that, you can start building on the techniques. And the first one we're going to talk about are vision boards and vision books, or digital vision boards, whatever. And essentially, the vision board is to help you with your visualization exercises, and also to have you stay focused on what it is you say that you desire. So it's always in the forefront of your mind. And one of the big things too is when you're doing this is to really get pictures that really speak to you. Because you don't want to do this exercise and get done at the end of the day and kind of have like a just an okay vision board. You want to have a smoking vision board, so it's one that you can look at and you can get fired up about, and put a lot of time into it. I know, Sherry, you use a digital one, don't you?
Yeah, I use multiple ones. I use ones on boards. I use one in my books. Like I carry a little mini book around with little pictures and stuff in it, with affirmations and stuff like that. But I also use Pinterest.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Pinterest is phenomenal, because if you have an idea of a house or something that you like, decorations or anything like that, you can go through every area of your life and find pictures on Pinterest.
Nice. And
on a board, and you can see it every day. So it's phenomenal for gathering.
Yeah, I knew that, because that's not something I've done. And I remember when you told me about that in the past. That was pretty cool. And is Pinterest free, Sherry?
It's free. It's free.
Wow. Well, you can't beat free in my world,
right. That's right.
Yeah. So, I used to have a foam board. It was like, I think it was like 2 by 3 foot. So it was like this big, like that.
Yeah.
And I nailed so many of my goals that the board was like a mess, because when I hit a goal, I ripped the thing off and put a new goal up there. So I ended up going to I call it a vision book, because I travel quite a bit, and when I do, especially when I do my hour of power, I put everything in a bag, and I have the book there because it's easier to carry around. And
that's funny that you said that, because I did that for years.
Oh yeah,
I always had my books,
right?
The books that I love. Even going to work, I would travel with it.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Breaks and stuff. I would look through my visualizations. I would look through everything during my shower.
Right. And you guys picked up on that, right? Traveling at work or whatever, you bring it with you. I mean, it's not like, well, like, I do it on Sunday mornings. It's like, you guys, you got to live this stuff like 24/7. Yeah, and here, I don't know if you guys can see this one or not, but this is a page I cut out of it was a Triathlon magazine, and you can see there's like 3 people walking, and there's a stocky guy running up behind them, and it's the thing is, it's called Night Moves. As night slips over the last remnants of a long day, triathletes continue toward the finish line of the Ironman Triathlon World Championship in Hawaii. So I put that in my vision book. Okay. And I'm a stockier than most triathletes, and I typically run the whole marathon. So that's what it looks like when I race. So that was what I did when I was visualizing getting into Ironman Hawaii, which you guys all know I did. So that's one example.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful.
And the other one, you guys reckon this was the cover to the old book, the first book, VisualFestation, and that's a picture of a house that I took a picture of in 2006, and in 2011, I was living there, and that's where I wrote the book. So it's like, tell you, this stuff works. Been there,
That's
done
right.
that, And what I do is after I manifest something like that I'm working on, I take those pictures and I move them to the back of my vision book, just to reinforce that I do manifest. I do have this ability, and we all do. So
That's right.
yeah. So when you nail your stuff, put it to the back of your board or put it in a folder and review it, because it's like it's going to fire. You're going to get fired up just looking at your own stuff. I mean, it fires me up. I look at the stuff. Occasionally I'll listen to my book, like the first 3 chapters, and I'm like, whoa, that was me,
Oh yeah.
It's like it's
It's
looking
powerful.
back, it's crazy
Because
powerful.
you're
Yeah.
able to see the higher part of you come out.
Oh yeah, it's
You're like, wow.
oh yeah, it's like wow, it's like double wow, and yeah. So so like I said, so whatever your goals are, it's like you got to create the visual of it on your board and in your book or whatever, and and if you're not getting if your pictures are not inspiring you, get better pictures. I mean, there's so much free stuff out there, like Sherry said, on Pinterest, that you can create something that's going to be pretty magnificent.
Oh,
And
yeah.
hey, it's like this is your life you're creating, so don't take it seriously, because it's you're working with the power of the universe, and if you want great stuff, well, it starts with a great beginning. Okay. You want to add anything to that, Sherry, at all?
Yeah, it's powerful because you're able to see it in real time. It's about making everything tangible. You're able to see the end result of what your life's going to look like. It's pretty powerful ahead of time. So that's what makes it even more powerful. So every day it's going to encourage you. It's going to inspire you to have the faith that it's going to be done for yourself.
Right. The faith that it's done and it's on its way to you. It's already done. It's just a matter of time before it shows up.
It's a great thing. It's amazing.
Right.
And it's funny because like yourself, Peter, I was doing this way before I even knew people were doing it.
Oh yeah. I mean,
my spirit just told me to do it so that I could make it more plain to myself,
Right. I'm honestly not sure where I heard about vision boards. I might have got that from my sister, but somehow I just kind of, I don't know where I heard about it, but it worked, and I just I started doing it, and I think it goes back. I don't know. It's been over 20 years. I don't know. I can't keep this stuff straight. But anyways, now that you have your vision board or whatever, it's let's talk about creative visualization. To me, this is the most powerful thing you can probably do. It's because you're combining, you're actually living your life in your mind's eye, as everything you desire is already done. When you're living it, you're going through your day. Sometimes it's like, what I will do is I start off with my eyes open. I inhale deep breath and I exhale deep breath. Then I do that for 3 times, and then I close my eyes, and then I go into what I'm going to visualize. And one of the things that you're going to find over time is that the more you do it, the better you get at it, because it's like when I first started doing creative visualization, it was after I read Shakti Gawaine's book by the same title, Creative Visualization. But it was it didn't really click till I made it my own kind of thing, and that's where it started off with. I start off when I'm visualizing. I'm combining gratitude with visualization, or creative visualization, because that is that's a power. Having the emotion of gratitude is extremely powerful, and it's like the more you're grateful for it, the more you're going to get. I mean, it's good stuff. So if you want more good,
and you're making a good point there, Peter. I do that as well, as along with my particular pictures. I the affirmation and gratitude form. I am grateful for I have manifested whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
So
exactly.
it's powerful.
Oh,
Powerful to me.
it's crazy powerful. And the
Mhm.
so I'll wrap the gratitude and I'll get into like I'm living my ideal scene.
Mhm.
And when I was working on manifesting the uh, Ironman lottery slot, I was I was grateful, and then I could see myself racing my mind's eye. And I think we talked about this on one of the shows, but when the the most wildest thing was, it's like the way I when it finally manifested and I was actually in the race, it was a carbon copy of what I visualized. So it's just like, like I said before, Sherry and I were talking about reality. It's like, you know, you have a lot more control over the system than you think you do, because
Fine.
you're an absolute co-creator, and you create your reality, and and have it show when I did that race, have it show up like perfectly as I had visualized it. It was pretty freaky, and I didn't really understand my own power as well. And so it's, basically when Spirit said, you created this, you created all of this. And I think that was like the first time I heard Spirit speak to me directly, and it was like, whoa, where did that come from? So take it from the guy who wrote the book. I mean, visualization works. And Sherry, why don't you talk a little bit about how Neville Goddard's talked about imagination and using it, and like the power of awareness?
He basically talked about your imagination is what creates everything. And so that with your imagination, you can't say that I will do this or I want to do this. You have to see everything from the end. Also talked about having witnesses bear witness to your visualization. For instance, if you are desiring to have a car, maybe you could have your mom or your sister in that particular visualization compliment you on the car and say, wow, congratulations on your beautiful car. And you have these witness bearers to your visualization, and it makes it even more powerful.
Cool.
So you can actually see the whole scene in your mind. You can see your family, you can see whoever is telling you congratulations or complimenting you on the car. So that even makes it even more powerful.
Right. Yeah.
It
It gets super tangible. And
yeah.
and I'll tell you one of the things that that for me is every day when I'm done like visualizing, I have tears of joy in my eyes every single morning.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's keep doing it, and you're gonna become a master at having that feeling of just pure gratitude. And when I'm doing it, I don't realize that I've got tears until I come out of it, because when I'm in there, I'm in there.
Like I do too, Peter. I come out of it the same way, and I'm wiping my eyes and stuff, and I'm like, wow. Because what it is, it's about getting yourself to that feeling place that is already real. You're already experiencing it. You're already going through the motions of everything.
Well, perfectly. And like some people say, well, I'll see it when I believe it, right? No, you'll see it. Well, I'll believe it when I see it, right?
Yeah,
that's a program. That's so back asswards. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that's a program that a lot of us would get.
Oh yeah, I got news for you. It's not going to show up, So drop that attitude for sure.
Yeah. Well, think about it this way, Peter. In the Bible, it says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." It's talking about visualization as well. If you can't see it, then you can't actualize it.
Yeah. Well said. All right, great. Well, hey, the next technique I want to talk to you guys all about is it's what I call the universe's to-do list. And this is something I learned at a meetup, law of attraction meetup group in Florida. And this kid Paul, who's he's transitioned unfortunately, but he came up with this universe's to-do list. And I think it's brilliant because I started using it. I started getting results like immediately. And what you do is you basically just take an index card, all right, put a line down the middle, and on the left hand side of your card, you're gonna write the words "the universe" on the top line.
Mm.
Then on the right hand side of the card, you're gonna write "me." And basically, you know, you're gonna. It's almost like a task list. I do these like every day. So it's do I pay the IRS or whatever things I need to do. It's like a checklist, but also on the universe side of the card, that's where you put the heavy duty stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna whatever you're working on. It's like for example, this one particular card, I'm a real estate broker, and I've been working on selling a good friend of mine's house, and I had done a couple of open houses. The market really wasn't that hot at this time. And I'm like, and the thing was, I had to drive about 2.5 hours down to his house to do the open house. So it's kind of like starting to screw up my weekends because I didn't want to drive 5 hours on a Saturday. So, anyways, I wrote down on this particular day, and I put it on my side of the card, and I wrote down sell Scott's house for full price or more. And this is the first time I did it while I was doing the open houses. And that was on February 13th, 2014, full price offer on his house. Sold it. Well, the other 2 weeks, hey, if I did it on the card 2 weeks before, I could have saved myself 2 weekends. So, and another one, I'm trying. I couldn't find it tonight, but another one that was like crazy cool was I wrote down on the card, because I used to play a lot of golf. I said, play a great round of golf today, and that day I got my second hole in one. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not. You can't make this stuff up,
Right.
It works. So it's just like the really heavy duty, let's say the heavy duty stuff of the universe is like, I want a full and complete healing from whatever you're experiencing.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I always write down on the bottom, either mahalo, which is Hawaiian for thank you, or I write down thank you, Lord. And I always put like a smiley face on. And,
Abraham Hicks, Jerry and Abraham Hicks talk about doing that.
Yeah. And it's the
same type of way that you're saying.
Yeah, and I also whatever I'm working on is like I have whatever my biggest I am statement is I'm working on. I put that on the back side of the card, the side without the lines on it. Right. So it's like the what to see my notes here. To play the great golf, and yeah. Oh, and another one I had was I'm changing the lot. This was one of my affirmation cards too, and I'm jumping ahead on me. We'll back up. That's the next one. So that's the universe side. Okay. Oh, and one of the ones I would write down as a to-do list too is like I am changing the lives of millions of people all over the world. And a while back I took that I stopped writing that down because at the time I have like on Justin Perry's channel, you are creators too, I've got over 8.2 million views in since 2017. So that was like I was putting that down on the card, and I'm like, well, it's rolling now. So I started writing down all this stuff. Is there anything you want to add to that, Sherry?
Yeah, that's powerful. Another great exercise is to turn your goal into a question and ask yourself, what would I have to do to accomplish this particular goal? And come up with 20 different answers. So that's a very powerful exercise. Brian Tracy talks about that.
Oh, wow. Is there like a metaphysical side of that, or is that just about focus?
Yeah, it's metaphysical because it's also about focus as well, because it's you to zero in on what you're trying to actualize. And the conscious mind comes up with answers.
Yeah,
So
my
it gives
answer
you the steps.
yeah, my answer's simple. You know, run it through the system. It'll show up. You know. Okay. The next next one we're going to talk about, guys, is our affirmation cards, our affirmation statements, and I I'm like an index card freak, so I write
Me
down
too.
all my affirmations as on cards. You know, it's, you
Mhm.
think that if after reading the same card in the same order for 15 years, I wouldn't have to read them, but I do. And anyways, yeah, and like this is one that I had as an affirmation card, and also on the universe's to-do list, which again was, I'm changing the lives of millions of people with VisualFestation. That was a big affirmation, because that's the reason I wrote the book was, to help people. So
That's right.
that's a great one for me. Um, some of the ones I currently use is just like, very first one I read is, I am happy. And I have a smiley face on it, and basically it's just, I'm happy with all aspects of my life, so that's what it means to me. Because it's like, if you don't, unhappy is not where you want to be, because it's like, and if you're there, make it temporary and as short as possible, because you when you start getting unhappy, you're thinking about all the things that are bothering you instead of having gratitude for all the blessing that you have. So it's just like, you got to self-regulate. You want to add anything to that one, Sherry?
Yeah, happiness is something that you decide on ahead of time. So you actually
Ooh,
decide
well
to be
said. Well
you
said.
know? Because if you don't, there's so many things that can grab at you. So you have to declare and you have to affirm that I'm going to be happy. No, but in every type of situation. I mean, I found myself in the past in working situations that were not conducive to my well-being, and I had to learn how to distract myself and keep my mind focused on being happy in the chaos so that it wouldn't mess me up because it was very challenging, you know. So it's just a matter of my directing my thoughts to being happy that made me be able to overcome and override those different challenges I was faced with.
Well said. Yeah, that's one of the things is, as soon as like a challenge shows up, well, you got to get bigger than the challenge,
That's right.
because you're more powerful than anything that shows up. As long as you understand that and believe it. And the thing too is, like, you're working with spirit. There's nothing that God can't do. With he can't help you, through, and a lot of times challenges they're there to move you ahead. They'll get freaked out by when weird stuff happens. It's sometimes it's just like, here's an example. This is in my immediate life right now. I'm working with a client, and they don't have a big budget. And what's been happening is, every deal that I'm putting an offer in on, there's like 20 offers on it, and we're getting outbid, and we have to go with financing, and we're getting beat out by all cash buyers here in Florida.
Mm.
Well, then all of a sudden, the idea came in from spirit. It's just like, why don't we create our own deal? And so I called a friend of mine, my good friend Eric, who's a mortgage broker, and I said, Eric, if we could come in with an investor, buy raw land, put a new mobile home on it, and install the utilities, etc., could we then sell it to my client and and pull the deal off with a FHA loan? He said,
Mm.
that's a hell of an idea. He goes, yeah, absolutely. Excuse me. So, and what happened was, all those offers were to get us to the point where we didn't buy the wrong house, because he needs a 3-bedroom. We didn't have to settle for a 2-bedroom. And today, this is the most amazing thing. A lady that Robin knows started telling her, it was just through conversation that, this is how spirit works. Oh yeah, there's a guy across the street from where my mother lives, and the house burned down. It's kind of half burned down, and they just want to sell it, like it's got all utilities already there on it, and there wouldn't be any impact fees. You probably get it for short money, and I'm like, okay, this is today. So it's just like, not only is Spirit setting up the perfect deal, but by doing it by it coming in like out of the blue, right? It's going to save my client probably $20,000 on because he's not going to have to put a septic system in. He's not going to have to put a well in. He's not going to have to pay impact fees, which is basically a tax from the county whenever you add a property to, so there's no impact fees. And it was just like, and the time, and now because none of that work needs to be done, my client can probably move in there in like I don't know, a month maybe. So it's just like, it's like a home run all around. And I had put it out, and I had asked my spirit guides for help finding him a home. So it's just like, we were both getting super frustrated, and now it looks like it looks like we might have finally pulled it off. So but I was getting a little frustrated because it's just like my client had a budget, and it was what it is what it is. And then that price point, it's stuff that doesn't stay on the market a day. So anyways, that's how spirit can work. So
Right.
sometimes it's all, hey, you know what, it's always happening for you. Just know that. And that's how I live my life. Okay, this will be the final technique we're going to cover tonight, and that I call it scripting. And just think about scripting as being a visualization that you're writing down on paper. And some people really rock with this technique, and my wife's one of them. My wife will get tears in her eyes doing her scripting exercise. And I just have a composition book, and when I feel like scripting, I just open it up, put the date on top of it, and I just fly. And and basically you're just like, having gratitude and writing it down, like, thank you, Lord, so much for my amazing. Yeah, here's what I wrote in my book. Let's say this is a lady who wanted to have a cabin in the mountains for her family. This is how I wrote it, but it was like through her words. Wow, I cannot believe how much I love spending time in our new cabin next to the lake. I love meditating next to the crystal clear, pristine waters every morning. I feel so at peace here. The kids are having such a great time swimming that I can barely get them to come out of the water to eat. The sunsets over the lake are absolutely beautiful, and I love the cool evenings here. Lord, I cannot thank you enough for my beautiful cabin. I love being here so much that I never want to leave. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's just an example. So it's like, just take what you're working on and write it down in your journal, and go as long as you can go. You have as much gratitude as you can. Sure, I'm going to say, do you do any scripting? Because I already know you do.
I never called it scripting, but I've always done that. I've been writing since I was a kid, and I've been exactly like what you're talking about. My ideal scenes and my ideal life.
Yeah.
I've been doing that all my life.
Yeah, and it's sometimes I don't have this challenge, but sometimes it's like you just, for some reason, you may not be able to click with visualizing, and if you run into that, you can't get your mind quiet and locked in. Writing it is easier.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of learners. Some are visual, some are the ones kinesthetic. So it depends on how you learn and how what's best for you. The main thing is to get the visuals in your mind going. It's like the blood flowing.
Right. And all right. We got another minute here. I gotta share this. This is a technique I call acting as if. And it's real quick. It's just like, you just get in the mindset, and I do this when I'm driving, and I'll just get in the feeling that whatever I desire has already manifested, and how would I feel? And I get into that feeling now, and because it's easy, because it's like I don't need to try visualize and close my eyes and drive off the road. it's much safer way to do it. So let me share with you an example of I had in my past. I was out at the beach when I used to live down in Tampa Bay, and I was driving off the beach, and I looked over, and there was a guy who he was all decked out like a Holly, like my brother-in-law is a biker, so he's all decked out in like biker boots, biker jeans, and it's like 90 degrees out. He's got jeans on, a leather vest, patches, all this stuff. But you know what? He was driving a moped, like a scooter. And I'm like, that is the perfect example of a guy. He's on his Harley. I can say it right now. He is just like, yeah, And I'm looking at him and I'm like, I will bet the house that guy has his Harley now, because he could tell, and he was like next to us for about 10 minutes, and he was like,
that's funny, Peter. I've seen people do that too.
Yeah.
Mopeds, and you're thinking they're getting on a big giant motorcycle, and they're getting on this little scooter.
Yeah, and it's they're acting as if, and they don't even know it. So I wish I could have videotaped that, because it's like you had to see it to believe it, kind of thing. That's how cool it was. But yeah, that was amazing. And I looked over to Robin. I'm like, hey, talk about acting as if, And at the time we were doing some blog posts, and it was just like, you look at your daily life, and it's just like it's all law of attraction all around you. Just, people don't realize they're doing it. It's kind of crazy. But all right, well, that's a friendly note to end on here. I hope you guys got some questions, because I just burned through that first half hour pretty quick with Sherry. You guys got any questions about any of the techniques? Are you guys doing the techniques? Give me a thumbs up, I hope. And you have a question?
Anyone want to share questions?
I got a question, Pete.
Go ahead, Harry.
When you do the index card, it's just one gold letter on each card, right? Like you're gonna put the universe, and then on the back you happy, grateful for whatever.
I'm doing two things with the cards, Harry. I'm doing the universe's to-do list when I split the card in half. I do that every day. Is that what you're asking me, or you asking about the affirmation card? Okay.
Yes.
This is how I start out on my cards, and this is I've been doing the same process for about 10 years now. And the first thing I write on the first 4 lines on the me side of the card, I put the word gratitude. Then below it, write faith. Below that, I write belief, and below that, I write trust. And then I'll, whatever I need to do, or say sell my friend's house, I put that on as a task on that list below that. And then I always say thank you on the bottom, write thank you on the bottom of the right hand side. And whatever I'm putting out to for spirit, I want them to help with manifesting that, like the heavy lifting stuff, like I don't know, end world disease or something big like that. I put that on the universe's side of the card. And I also I'll write thank you and mahalo, and I always put a smiley face. And then on the other side, on the back side of the card, it's like, let's say the example I just did with the lady scripting, I would write down, I love my new beautiful cabin. Thank you, Lord. Something like that. It's like, it's really just customized for you, because the cool thing about when you do it on the universe's side of the card, the heavy duty stuff, it's like you don't have to worry about it. Spirit's taking care of it. It's the big stuff. Let you do the small stuff. Let Spirit take on the big stuff. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. If it didn't, just say no. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Sherry, is that a technique you've done or are doing?
Oh yeah. Yeah. With the writing down in the question form, my goal.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it gives you the steps. You know, you need those in between steps. So it helps you to get it going.
Right, and those the steps there, I call it like the action piece of it, because it's like this stuff you personally need to do. You really can't outsource,
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like when you do that stuff, you're going down your list, you're banging that stuff out. You're telling the universe, it's like you're serious, you're taking action. It's like you're not just meditating and waiting for it to fall out of the sky and drop in your lap.
That's right.
It's like there's a lot of different theories out there, but trust me, if you do the work, take the action, your energy is out there, and it's just like affirming that you're doing what you need to do.
That's right.
Excellent. Right. All right. Well, thanks for the question there, Harriet. Appreciate it.
Anyone else have a question or comment or want to share something?
All right. Sure. You got anything you want to share?
Sure.
Okay. We'll just have to cover it ourselves.
I would say that the main thing you just want to get into your consciousness, the fact that when you're in this world, you're distracted a lot. So you want to be in your own world. You don't want to be in the world that is given to you. So you want to design and create your own life. So to do that, you have to learn how to focus. And to learn how to focus, you need tools to focus. So these are tools that will bring your mind back to a specific space and place and time so that you could actualize it. Because where there's clarity of mind, you're able to actualize something. But when your mind is divided, like the Bible talks about a divided mind, it'll fall because then there's no light. There's no way that you could actualize something when you're divided. The different parts of you are not in agreement with what you're saying you want. So you can't actualize it like that. So there has to be some congruence, there has to be some alignment in order for you to manifest. So this helps you to get that alignment. These are exercises that bring you to that place of alignment. So you have to practice it. And then eventually the subconscious mind believes it. So it's about giving yourself belief when you initially might not have that belief.
Ooh, that was outstanding, Sherry. I mean, that was perfect.
And, so I think that that's what's been helpful for me is in understanding that. Everyone says, oh my God, we're all in the same world. I don't agree because I always look at it like everyone does not live in the same world. The world that you choose to live in, Well,
that's funny. That brought me up to something I remembered hearing a very long time ago. It's probably around 15, 16 years ago. And it was the idea, it was like one person on the planet thing. And it was just like, what it was about was that you could honestly, this could be your show, this whole experience. Everybody else in it and everything else is a prop. They're part of your movie and you're running the movie.
That's right.
Because it's like,
actors and actors in your drama of life. This is your particular drama. So you get to script it. That's the beauty of it.
Right.
Design your life. That's why I say, Peter, everyone doesn't live in the same world because someone could be in poverty and struggling and unhappy and going through a lot of turmoil. And if I'm looking at that and I decide ahead of time that I'm not choosing that for myself, that will not be my reality because I'm not resonating with poverty. I'm not resonating with the drama. I'm choosing something different for myself. So it's a matter of choice as well.
Absolutely. Everything's a choice. You can choose to do I call it doing the work, like you're out of power. Do it. You need do. If you want to get results, you need to do it every day. No excuses. And it's like, no, my dog ate my homework. I don't have time. Those are all so petty excuses. It's like, if you're serious about, manifesting the life of your dreams, well, you need to show up, and that's, no BS,
Yeah.
because it's like, either you're getting closer to it or you're moving
Mhm.
further away from it. You're not,
And,
you don't
and
just,
I look at it this way as well, Peter, is that we have to bring the wholeness of ourselves if we want to manifest something. So being that the world is vying for our attention all the time, this is why they spend billions of dollars on marketing, on media, on television, so that they can get your attention. Your attention is valuable. Your attention is extremely valuable. This is why they pay so much money to get you to watch a certain program or to get you to buy this or buy that, because your attention matters. So if you take back your power and you say, I'm going to give my attention only on to the things that matter to me, and I'm going to design my own life, imagine how powerful you could be.
imagine. Exactly. Yeah. It's, you have more power than you can possibly imagine, at your disposal, but you need to, and hardly anyone, even, can conceive of what we're talking about, but that's how the world, that's how reality works. You create it. It's if you it's getting created one way or the other, whether you're either you're a deliberate creator or it's just showing up. But either way, it's gonna, you're creating it, whether you want to or not. I mean, so you might as well.
But you made a good point with that, though, with the deliberate creation, because if you're not deliberately creating, somebody will create your life for you. You'll be living your life by default, and you'll be getting the leftovers of what's there. So to understand that you have that power to create, you can design it based on your personal preferences. That's what makes it so powerful, is to understand that,
Ooh, yeah, I like it. I like it. Well, hey, I see now we're not having a lot of questions. I guess I'll finish the last two techniques we have, and maybe we'll have some questions. All right. Hey, another one, another exercise that is wonderful to do is to have a separate journal and just write. It's just a gratitude exercise, and just sit down and just write out everything you're grateful for. I am so grateful to be alive today. I am so grateful to have eyes so I can see the beautiful world, and just keep rolling with that, and and just see how far you can go with, because that'll get you, you're gonna roll out of that, and you're gonna feel pretty good. I'm telling you.
And that's key right there, Peter. When I learned the power of that, I was like, wow, this is amazing, because you could be in a place where you're not feeling too good about life. You could be depressed, or you're just not feeling good about anything. You have issues or problems or challenges going on in your life. And that's an instant way to raise your vibration. That's the power of gratitude, is when you look for something that you could be grateful for. Because when I think about it like this, I'm like, okay, wow. In third world countries, there's a lot of people who don't even have clean running water. You understand? So when I'm taking a shower, I'm saying spirit and to the universe, I'm like, thank you so much for clean water. Like, we have no idea, there are people who don't have clean water. So when I bring my mind to focus on that, even when I'm going through stuff in my life, I realize how blessed I am, and it makes me look for other things to say, okay, what else can I be grateful for? And if you keep playing that game throughout your day, oh my God, you're just going to change everything in your life, in your world, in your feeling place, because it's all about feeling. It changes everything. It changes everything to be grateful.
It does. And one of the things I do too is I carry a small rock in my pocket, and especially when Rob and I are like walking on the beach or whatever, I'll hold on to that. It's my gratitude stone. I'll just hold it in my hand, and I'll just mentally give thanks for all these wonderful blessings in my life, while I'm like, working out. I mean, it's just like,
and you know what else too, Peter? It's like it talks down that lower mind, because we have that lower mind that, tries to, that ego mind that says, oh, nothing's going right for you. Look at what's wrong here. What's wrong there. So to turn the tide of that, when you look for the things that you're grateful for, it brings you up to the higher mind, because it raises your vibration, because everything is about focus. So if your focus is on being grateful, you're saying actually to the universe, send me more of those wonderful things, and it gives you more. That's what makes it powerful.
I couldn't have said it any better. That's for sure. And the last technique I want to share is I call them mantras. They're like longer statements and affirmations, and it's just like a longer affirmation. And here's one. I used to have this in my wallet, and I had it laminated. I would carry it with me throughout the day. And it actually came out of Joseph Murphy in the Power of Your Subconscious Mind, which was the first book on this kind of stuff that I ever read, and it was about prosperity, and it goes like this: I like money. I love it. I use it wisely, constructively, and judiciously. Money is constantly circulating in my life. I release it with joy, and it returns to me multiplied in a wonderful way. It is good and very good. Money flows to me in avalanches of abundance. I use it for good only, and I am grateful for all of my good and for the riches of my mind. It's like, I'm telling you, you start operating like with that. It's all about like reprogramming yourself to not be like everybody else, because everyone else has got it wrong. It's like, it's like they're unhappy and they don't know, they don't understand how to fix it. And the stuff that Sherry and I are teaching you guys, this is how you fix it. But it's like nobody can do the work for you. It's your game, and you got to show up. I mean,
when you think about it, when there are lots of things that we want to manifest that we have not been able to manifest, we have to look at our programs. There's hidden programs there that are preventing us from manifesting. That's why the affirmation practice is so important to do on a daily basis, because then you can override those programs and you can start to believe what you are affirming. That's what makes it so powerful, that you don't want to leave home without it. You want to hold on tight to those affirmations, because it's changing everything for you.
Perfect. Okay. Well, any more questions? Oh, hey, actually, you know what, Sherry? That technique that you did about recording your affirmations and playing them when you sleep. Can you re-share that again?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so like I was saying earlier about the programming yourself, I understand that from my studies, what I've studied is that the subconscious mind is programmed easily when you're about to go to sleep, into that sleep state. So there are different states: the alpha, the theta. So the brain waves, when you're in that sleep mode, it receives the instructions that it's given. There's even a scripture in the Bible that talks about it. When you go to sleep, how the instructions are coming to you, and God has given you instructions, and that's how you manifest. So I understood this. So I heard someone say, it was Bob Proctor who said it to one of his students. He told him to go get a speaker. It's a speaker. It's called a pillow speaker. And you can put it in your pillow or under your pillow, or, you can get earplugs or whatever if you like, if you prefer that. And what I did was I took Hertz music at the frequency of 528, which is the highest frequency that you could listen to. And frequency meaning where it could bring you to a high place of mind easily because of the sound waves of the frequency. So anyway, I put that in the background, had that playing, and then I had my voice and I recorded my ideal scene and my goals, but as if I'm living it now. And that's how I recorded it. So as I'm going to sleep, I put it on a loop. So it can play for hours, at least 7 hours at a time. You get it? So while I'm sleeping, I don't even know that it's still playing because you're sleeping, but it's programming the subconscious mind. after a while, your mind receives it and it sees it as done. It concretizes that belief inside of you that you have what you're trying to manifest. That's what makes it so powerful.
Awesome. It's like I need to try that one out myself, you know.
Yeah.
It's,
and I told you also last week we talked about it. When I go jogging, I have my affirmations playing on my phone, and I have it already pre-recorded in my phone, so that when I'm jogging, the Hertz music and the frequencies are playing with my affirmations and my goals. And I'm jogging and I'm hearing all of this while I'm jogging. So there's movement, I'm getting the blood flowing, and I'm also programming the mind. So it's powerful. You can do it in different times and stuff.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful indeed. Miles, you have a question? See the hand up. Was that me?
Let me see if
No,
you
that
have
was
any questions.
that was my. There was a hand up. That's my mouse pointer thing.
Oh, okay.
I do have a question, Sherry. How
Sure.
is that a recorder or your phone that you are able to loop it?
Yes, you know your phone has a recorder.
Right.
And some of the recorders on your phone have a loop. If you look for like the settings, you'll see it can still stay on a loop. It can
Okay.
over and over again. So look for that in your phone for that feature.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'll play over and over for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be an app for something like that too, right? I would think.
An app for what?
So like how to record your gigahertz with your affirmations or something.
Oh, let me give you an easy way to do that.
Okay.
Go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube and type in 528 hertz music. So whatever music you prefer, as long as it's the 528, it could be mixed with 432 and stuff like that. It's fine. And have that playing in the background. Take your phone, go to your recording section, and read and have your written affirmations, your ideal scene or whatever, and read it. And the music's going to be playing in the background, and click on record on your phone, and that's how you do it. It's very simple. You don't even have to worry about going to get apps and all of that type of
Wow.
stuff.
All right, cool. I'm like, I'm like the low tech. I'm like the I don't know, the caveman. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? You know?
Yeah, that's all you need. It's YouTube has them all for free, the 528 hertz, and have it playing, and then go to your phone and click on record and read your affirmations.
No, Sherry, are you playing the YouTube on your phone? Or are you playing it on your computer? You do that.
I'm playing it on my phone.
Oh, okay.
So what's good for me is that I have an alarm clock. So, if I'm listening to this and it's time for me to get up and I don't really hear my alarm, I have my alarm separate on a regular alarm. But yeah, you could do it on your phone or you could do it through your computer, because with the speaker, the pillow speaker, the cords are very long. So being that the cords are very long, they can be all the way on the other side of your room. And you're on your bed, but the cord is able to stretch far enough where when you're sleeping, it's not going to interfere with your sleep. It's not going to come off.
Okay, cool.
And they have those on Amazon. You can get those on Amazon, the pillow speakers.
Where do they go for, Sherry?
About anywhere from $10 to $20.
Okay, that's a lot better than like $100. So
yeah,
$20. No reason not to get one.
Mm-hmm.
Free shipping.
So 528 is your favorite one, huh, Sherry?
528 is the God code.
Okay.
It's frequency that the mind can go to. And frequency, when I say frequency, I mean your feeling place. Remember, everything is about feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So if I raise your consciousness to a higher level, you want to go to the highest frequency. This way, it's programming you at a deeper level than any other frequency that's under that. There are different levels of frequency.
Right.
Yeah, so your 528 is your highest frequency.
Okay, but I've seen some numbers higher than that.
Well, remember, it's not about how high the number is. It's about the frequency itself. And there are frequencies for different things that you're trying to do.
Right.
But if you're trying to program yourself at a deep-seated level, you use 528.
Okay.
For more information on that, you could check out Horowitz. He has a lot of stuff about the 528 frequency.
Okay.
Cool. No, the show you said different frequencies for different things. So would you run a different frequency for, say, money versus frequency for love, like bringing in, your life partner or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other ones like 963 and 432 hertz. I think what it is more so is the intention that goes behind the frequencies. So that's important as well. So when you're looking on YouTube, make sure it's specific to what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to manifest love, you're going to listen to a different type of frequency for that love energy.
And I'm sure there's some videos on YouTube that explain what the frequencies are for each thing, or probably like an index or something like that.
Yes.
Right.
So it's basically just think of a frequency as a state that you want to go into, a state of mind. It's like, when you look at life, you look at, okay, I can be mediocre or I can go up here and be higher, so think of it like climbing stairs. Frequencies are like different channels that you go to where it brings you to a higher place of mind, a higher place of understanding, a higher place of resonance with the God that's inside of you. So just think of it in that way. There's states of mind.
Okay.
I'll tell you, it's like, I love having you on the show, on the class show, because it's just like, I could not even begin to try to explain that. So, because I haven't done it. So
yeah, but Peter, you got the gist of it. You didn't need to understand that. You're already able to go all the way from 1 to 100. That's personality.
It's all about customizing your stuff and figuring out what works for each one of you guys. And don't be afraid to try something different. Whatever. It's like I just kept changing things up to I came up with like the system that worked for me. And
that's right. You can customize it.
Yeah,
that's right.
So because I've had people try copy exactly, get confused and think they need to do every single technique there is, 3 times.
That'll mess you up thinking that, because everyone's unique too. So you can use a little bit of what I say, a little bit of what Peter says, and then incorporate it and design your own.
It's more, the most important thing is showing up and doing it. There's no shortage of people that they read books about all these things, right? But they never do anything. It's like the example of a friend of mine who unfortunately passed away. It's like I met his mother one time, and it was down in Sarasota, Florida. Long story short, I'm talking to this lady, right? And she's telling me about all these books like on self-help, law of attraction, all these things that she's read, right? And her life's she is just a living train wreck. It's just like she talks about the books, and then the next 10 minutes she's like bitching about something, and I'm gonna get this test and this test, blah blah blah, and I'm like, you read the books, but you didn't get it, So I feel sorry. If she had to believe that by reading the book, it was gonna, change her life, And I've met with people that, have watched The Secret 6 times in a row, and they wonder why they're not a multimillionaire, and they didn't do anything except watch the damn video. It's like.
But even with The Secret, Peter, there was a lot of stuff a lot of in between stuff that was left out. I would say that The Secret remained a secret. Because a lot was left out.
Like
they didn't talk anything about programming and stuff. And now you can't actualize certain things. You can't manifest certain things if there's a certain program running. Unless you get into the operating system and change the program, you can't manifest.
Yeah, exactly.
About the in between stuff.
Oh yeah. It's like having a radio in your car, and it's like say you get XM radio, and you want to hear some like heavy duty rock and roll, but your settings are on old country songs or
That's
something.
right.
It's just like
that's right on the wrong channel.
Yeah, right. It's just like you're on the country western channel, and you're like, where's the Led Zeppelin?
Exactly.
That's it. That's a perfect analogy of what Sherry was just talking about. It's like, you gotta change.
I was thrilled when I watched The Secret, but because of my studies, I knew that they would leave it. They left a whole lot out.
Oh,
and a lot of people are more lost than ever.
Oh, well, the thing too.
They didn't go into the details.
No, but hey, I think the lady who actually, it's funny, the guy who did all the cutting, the editing of the film is a friend of mine named David Kakandi. He lives in Australia, and he wrote a book called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. If you guys ever want to go down the rabbit hole, read his book, because it's I saw it as a PDF, and I think I bought it as a PDF, and I turned around and I bought it as a book back at the time. It was on CDs. It was like one time I was driving from Colorado down to Utah, and Rob and I listened to about 3 hours straight of it.
Nice.
And it was just like it made the trip go by like that. It was like before we knew it, we were back. It was like holy cow. So the Rhonda Burns, that was her name, right? Well,
Rhonda Burns.
She did pretty good, because a while back I saw that she sold her home in California for $28 million. So I guess for me, the behind the scenes thing was the way it worked was she like basically got all the money for it, and everyone else that was on it, they ran out of money in the budget, so they couldn't really pay anybody except because they were blowing money back at the time on travel, because she was really from Australia, and so Mike Dooley, all those guys, they they just got they got famous because they were in it.
Right.
But I think I think it should have worked out a little bit better than that. If I crushed it, like make that kind of money, well, you know what, I just chop the money up and give everybody something.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But okay, all right. I'll get off my soapbox. We ran past.
Someone else has a question. What was the name of the book again?
Okay, it's called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. Okay, I'll put it in the chat thing so you guys can see it.
All right, Peter.
Oh, you gonna do it? Sure, thanks. And look around, because you might be able to find it out there for free. And David, I think his website's called miraclesforme.com.
What's his last name, David? What?
Yeah, Gikandi, Gikandi. Okay. He's easy to find. Yeah, that's it. A Happy Pocket Full of Money. But it's just like, I tell you, it's like I've read it, I've listened to it a lot of times, and it's just like he's got a real complex way of explaining it. But it's I think I don't know where the information came from, but this is not. It's like you listen to this thing and you're like, wow. After a few times listening to it, it starts making sense. The first time it's just like, whew, I think my hair's gonna catch on fire. Anyways, all right, guys. Well, hey, Sherry, thank you for being on the show. And Sherry, give me a little pitch about your website and such.
Okay. purposemeetsdestiny.com. Check me out there. Subscribe to the blog. I write articles every week, so you can check them out. I'll write it in the chat for you. Also, you can check out the YouTube channel under Sherry Hollis, and you guys see my name on the screen. Just type in Sherry Hollis on YouTube and all of my videos will come up. And you can subscribe there as well if you like.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for showing up and giving me the opportunity, and Sherry the opportunity to help you change your lives for the better. So that's about it for this week. Let's do this again next Wednesday at 7:00, and I'll try to come up with something else to talk about. Just kidding. We'll be ready for another great show. All right. Well, till next time. Have a wonderful week, guys, and stay positive and start creating miracles in your lives.
That's right. Thank you, everyone.